I started drawing nearly 10, at least 8 years ago now. And during that time I really struggled a lot, especially with myself. But on the other hand, there are many things that I've learned. And I thought about that and decided that I want to share those things with you, because I think you can learn from them as well. Those lessons I learned, they aren't quite techniques or hacks you can use while drawing, but rather they are on a personal stage and affect your own mindset. But before we will start with the video, this is really here on the channel my first video where I record myself. Beforehand I only really did like drawing tutorials and how to draw videos, so this is really some kind of a different one and special here on the channel, so maybe keep that in mind. In addition, I hit now or reached 600 subscribers, and that really means a lot to me and is extremely amazing. My initial goal for this year was 500 and we topped that. But I wanted to take the chance here and thank you in a personal way. Yes, thank you. But for now, I would say, let's begin. Initially I started drawing not because I really was interested in art in general or attached by its process, but more of a fascination by dinosaurs and especially prehistoric art. You can go and search up paleo art on the internet, and there you can find my inspiration by people like Mark Whitten or Dougal Dixon. When you go onto my channel, most of the videos are about drawing dinosaurs, so this is where that comes from. But as you may know, dinosaurs are extinct by now, and so we do not know how they really looked and how they behaved. But that's, in my opinion at least, the really fascinating thing about them and what brought me into the topic in the first place. Because the only way to make them feel real and alive is by simply drawing them. And so with the age of around 10 or 11 years, I started to draw them. I just began, and the really strange thing about all of this was that at first I thought those pictures and drawings I made were actually good. At some sort I was proud of them. Okay, yeah, I was a little child, but I really liked them. And that's what I can only tell you, no matter what topic or kind of things you would like to draw, especially when you're on the beginner stage, just get started. And even when it looks bad and you don't get it done in a proper way, that's totally natural. I myself struggled a lot. Although I liked my first drawings, I remember how I wanted to improve and get better really fast. But as much as I can tell you, that won't happen. It really is a process and not something that is achieved in a fast amount of time. And it definitely will not happen overnight. And maybe when you finish a drawing, look at it and think, what can you improve? Hold it in front of a mirror, at least that's what I did sometimes, because there you can see wrong proportions. At first I started with black and white drawings. I didn't even color them at first. At some point, and yes, I can even remember the first drawing I made with colors, I just started with it. I always had the fear that I would ruin them if I would make them in colors. But in the end you should at least give it a try and not just forget about it. Because if you don't hang on with it, you will never know how much you could have improved. I made a big mistake when it comes to drawing. In already my early beginner stages, I showed my drawings to classmates in school, to my friends and so on. And some of them would eventually come up to me and tell me that I'm not that really talented. Like, I remember a situation in school where I drew an apple on a worksheet. It was just out of boredom. And the friend who sat next to me said that this was the best thing he ever saw me drawing. And of course, that really hit me hard. Because I was already 1 or 2 years into drawing dinosaurs and I always showed him what I did. Nowadays I think he probably didn't meant it bad in any way. He just said it like that, and on the other hand I would say he was at least being honest, which I also really appreciate. In the end, somewhat gave me the feeling that I'm bad at what I was doing. And it really dragged me down and I wanted to give up because I started to criticize my own work. But what I learned, and you can definitely learn from it as well, is that you should not listen to what others may think or may even say about it. And later on we'll talk about some exceptions here, but you should differ between what's hate and what's honest critique. Now this may seem a little contradictory and paradox, but don't listening to hate doesn't necessarily mean you should ignore every critique. One is neutral and pretty basic and tells you where you can improve, but the other one just throws bad stuff at you. But you should definitely not take critique and the will from others to help you as hate. By asking others what they think, you really can improve by miles. And I really mean that. Someone who is being honest with you and tells you where you can improve, that is real help. So in my opinion, you have to find a balance between stuff you can ignore because it's just hate and critique you can adopt and learn from. Now this one you can really apply on anything. I know that, but it really changes everything. And it's just that you should not give up. Just go on. How bad it may even be. If you want to achieve that goal and want to really draw in a good way. And I don't say my current art is good or a masterpiece in any way. I look at stuff from a few months ago and think, yes, it's pretty bad. But what I want you to know is just go for it and don't stop because others say so or you think you're bad at it. Just be patient. Art is something that takes time to be acquired. Especially when I talk about dinosaurs. There are proportions and aspects like muscles, skin, soft tissue and so on. I cannot argue about other topics and how it behaves there, but that plays into the process of learning. And no one ever learns out. I myself still learn on how I can get better with every piece of dinosaur art I make, on or even off camera. But you should do that as well. It is really a process, not something where you work onto it and then you have it. At some point in the future, when you stick to it and you don't give up and just draw, you will eventually anytime recognize that your art is pretty good. It is not that you will see it right away. Anytime you will draw and think, when did I improve, or why does it look suddenly so good? But in the end, that is what I can tell you right now. Maybe I will do something like this more often or again, but I hope you can learn a little bit from it and take something away. Let me know whether you like this format and I should do something like this again. Maybe you have ideas what I can talk about or what I can draw. But for now, until the next video. Bye bye.